Oh.
You know, I was back in my single days. I'm married now.
Richard Rawlings may be known for his crazy show, Fast and Loud, but behind the scenes, his love life is even crazier. And you'll never believe the truth about all the drama behind all of his different marriages.
There's only so many times.
It's been a pretty fantastic journey.
And if you thought Richard Rawlings' love for cars was intense, wait till you hear about his roller coaster love life. Yes, the hunk is a romantic at heart, but maybe love isn't for everyone, eh? He barreled through marriages like a drag race, ran down the aisle at every turn, tried to soothe his romantic heart time and again, but guess what? Fate had other plans. I know, your curiosity is piqued. This guy is no stranger to controversy, and his life is filled with enough twists and turns to make your head spin. So buckle up, folks. Today is all about Richard Rawlings' marital life turning upside down. And not just once. This man has been through more marriages than most people have hot dinners. Love makes you stupid, they say. And talking about love, let's dive straight into the first fairy tale. They say it was love at first sight. Richard and Karen, the it couple, who appeared to be a match made in horsepower heaven. They shared a mutual love for all things Fast and Furious, with a chemistry that revved up the engines of their hearts. Poor guy. Little did he know, that ride would soon hit a bumpy road. Their romance burned hot and fast, but little did they know that their relationship would take a scandalous twist. Richard sprinted down the aisle with a passionate soul who matched his fiery spirit. Karen K. Graham's the first love. But alas, the race to the finish line was short-lived. Richard's first wife thought she had won the jackpot when she walked down the aisle with the adrenaline junkie. Who wouldn't? Let's be honest. Richard is a complete package, right? Wrong. Little did Karen know that Richard's love for speed was unmatched. It's insane how beneath the glamorous facade, cracks began to appear. Karen realized that she was playing second fiddle to Richard's true love, cars. It all started innocently enough, until the engine of their love started sputtering. Let's just say there was smoke everywhere, and it left them burning. For life. Secrets, lies, and revving hearts, their marriage was like a never-ending race to disaster. As time passed, their love story skidded off course. Arguments became more frequent. Richard's wandering eye and alleged indiscretions added fuel to the fire, pushing their relationship closer to the edge of disaster.
Emotionally, everything else, you're still partying, picking up chicks, and doing whatever, if you're single.
Finally, unable to withstand the constant strain and heartache, Karen decided she had enough. And you guessed it, their love story came to a crashing halt. Love can be a dangerous game, and Richard and Karen learned that the hard way. Okay, maybe Richard still has a lot to learn, because he still keeps his cars on top of the list.
But I mean, they don't understand the amount of work and time and money that we've put into it.
This was where Richard's first fairy tale wedding, filled with love and laughter, came to a startling stop. This marriage skidded to a halt after a year in 1991, leaving Karen in the dust and Richard craving a new thrill. And the thrill he found. And what I'm about to tell you now will blow your mind. This is where wife number 2 entered. After the wreckage of his first marriage, Richard couldn't resist the allure of a new flame. But was she just another pit stop on his journey? Well, prepare yourself for more twists and turns, because when it comes to love, anything can happen in the scandalous world of Richard Rawlings. As marriage number 2 came roaring into view, Richard was blinded by love. Sparks flew again. Richard and Suzanne's eyes met across a crowded garage. Talk about a match made in automotive heaven. The sound of wrenches clinking and hearts racing fills the air as Richard and Suzanne worked side by side, creating more than just horsepower. And yes, this was the kind of love affair that caused the engines of Gas Monkey Garage to overheat. Romance brewed again. Electricity sizzled again. But too bad marriage number 2 ended in a pit too. And this time it wasn't just from the faulty wiring in his car. Their passion burned from 1999 to 2009, hot and fast, but the flames eventually consumed their relationship, leaving them both singed and scarred. But wait, the drama didn't end there. Suzanne couldn't keep up with Richard's relentless pursuit of excitement, and their marriage crashed and burned in record time. Seems like Richard learned no lesson from marriage number 1. Alas, love is blind, and sometimes it leads you straight into another auto repair shop. But hold your breath, because fate has a wicked sense of humor. These two almost ex-lovebirds unexpectedly bumped into each other again. What do you think happened next? Well, sparks flew, hearts fluttered, and before you know it, they're back in each other's arms. And you would not believe what came next. Richard Rawlings decided to take the plunge again.
There are no rules, man.
Yeah.
There's none.
He got down on one knee and proposed in 2015. Oh boy, Richard Rawlings just can't resist the allure of matrimony, can he? I can almost hear the gasps of disbelief echoing through the room. But hey, who am I to judge? Maybe he's got a soft spot for wedding cake and forever after. Now, Richard embarked on yet another chapter of matrimony. Seems like the guy never learns, right? But hey, at least this time around, sparks were flying for all the right reasons. Or were they? The third time's the charm, they say. Well, not for Richard. It was more like a trip to the junkyard. As he walked down the aisle to say I do once again, Richard couldn't help but wonder if he made the right decision. And boy, was his decision wrong. Fast forward 4 years and we hear about another divorce. They sped into marriage like a dragster off the line. But their union proved to be a high-speed collision waiting to happen. So who hit the brakes on their marriage? Suzanne did. Apparently, she was no longer the teenager waiting for Richard's love for cars to fade out. Richard Rawlings and his stunning wife decided to call it quits, for the second time I might add. So what did you think happened? Their love affair turned into a full-blown legal showdown. Their marriage became a war zone, lawsuits and courtrooms, and so much more. So by now, Richard was married and divorced thrice, twice to the same woman. Hold on. There is more. So much more. Regardless of how many marriages Richard went through, one thing was for certain, it was much easier to be a mechanic. Now this is where it gets interesting. It seems like Richard had a knack for getting his heart broken, because Mr. Romantic had his eyes set on someone as soon as he got divorced in 2019. Wait, what? So soon? Yes. This time he found himself with Katarina, a woman who could keep up with his fast-paced lifestyle. Remember Katarina, the bombshell who was once married to Texas billionaire Darwin Deason? Well, talk about a rebound romance on steroids. But wait, it gets juicier. Just a few months earlier, in August 2019, Katarina and Richard took things to the next level and decided to put a ring on it. Picture this, Katarina flaunting a blindingly beautiful sparkler on her finger. Oh yes, my friends, it was an engagement ring that screamed, "I'm off the market." But that's not all. Fast forward to June 28th, 2020, and things got even juicier. Richard and Katarina decided to take the plunge and say their vows in none other than Key West, Florida. I can practically hear the gasps from scandalized onlookers as they sealed the deal and officially became Mr. and Mrs. Rawlings. Yes, you heard that right. Wedding bells rang, and it seemed like these two lovebirds couldn't wait to say their I do's in front of a star-studded crowd. With that, Katarina became the most recent Mrs. Monkey Garage. Can you imagine the whirlwind of emotions? It's like a real-life soap opera playing out before our very eyes. What can I say? Richard just can't resist the allure of marriage, it seems.
We're all scrambling for something.
Now I know what you're thinking. How did these two manage to move on so quickly? Well, when you're swimming in money and luxury, it's not hard to find love in there somewhere. Who needs time to heal when you can jump right into the arms of a billionaire? Am I right? So keep your gossip antennas up, because this marriage is bound to be a spectacle like no other. Will their love withstand the test of time, or will their whirlwind romance crash and burn? It's not like that hasn't happened before. Because let's be honest, Richard seems to be in a constant race to see how quickly he can sprint down the aisle and sprint right back out again. Anyways, what do you think of this tale of heartbreaks after heartbreaks? Can you imagine? Richard Rawlings, the man who could fix any engine, struggled to mend his own broken heart. But could there be hope for this speed demon? Who knows what twists and turns await him in the future? Will Richard Rawlings finally find his happily ever after? Or will he continue to burn rubber through relationships? You know what they say, there's no such thing as bad publicity, and Richard seems to thrive in the spotlight. Whether he's revving engines, breaking hearts, or making headlines, he's always at the center of attention. Isn't it insane how Richard managed to find himself in scandals all the time? From his questionable business practices to legal battles, this guy has been no stranger to the spotlight, and not always for the right reasons. And what is even more interesting is the fact that he knows how to keep people talking. And no, I'm not talking about a scandalous love life only. Don't gasp. There is so much more to these controversies. Allegations of fraudulent practices within his automotive empire, whispers of shady dealings, accusations of misrepresenting the condition of cars and misleading customers, mistreating employees and customers.
Work for employees, vendors, and customers, business would be great.
You name it. Richard has done it all, literally. Not to forget the legal dispute with a former business partner. Lawsuits were flying left and right with accusations of breach of contract, stolen intellectual property, and broken alliances. You've seen it, haven't you? The courtroom drama played out in the public eye, leaving Richard's reputation tarnished and his personal life under scrutiny. But wait, there's more. Let's not forget about his self-absorbed personality, which has both attracted fans and rubbed some people the wrong way.
Follow me or you lose.
Some critics claim that Richard's persona is just a facade. But here's the thing, we are all actors, no? And if faking gets him his 2 seconds of fame, then why not? Love him or hate him, you can't deny that Richard Rawlings knows how to keep us on the edge of our seats, which is where I bring your attention to that. The drama is far from over, so stay tuned.